My name is Yvonne. Yeah, I'm 57-year-old. I've been a house stay-at-home mom for 23 years. I would have liked to have gone out and worked, but I have really bad scoliosis, and they found some things when toes started getting numb, and it's working its way up my legs. So they're like, well, let's find out what this is. I'm not sure what it is. Also, they were doing a chest X-ray, and so I'm like, got some clogging here. I'm like, some things that are just, that I need to deal with, because I had a son late. I had my first two late. They're 24 and 22. They're good. But my 12-year-old, he still needs somebody, to do that for him. And so I'm really hoping, and I'm not really able to go out and work. And even still, I would have a really hard time, because I've always been there for my kids. If they call me from school, I'm going. I can't help that. And a homemaker. So I put that. I said, homemaker, I will be home. I will be home to clean the house, because that's a thing. I don't know how these people that work have time to do anything, let alone keep a house nice. So I do appreciate a nice, clean house. I've seen a lot of nice, clean rentals, and I would love the chance to keep it that way, as would probably most people here, or a lot of us, So, and that's, other than that, pretty normal, You're just right of the mill, everybody's got their things, that happen, but it's not always that you are a drug addict or you are this or that, like my teeth. I get this because I'm skinny. Well, I did lose more weight, stems back a bit, and I have a growing boy. But my teeth, we had dental for our kids and for ourselves, okay? But by the time I got done with their teeth, I would go in and get a root canal, because I have really bad teeth. I don't know, I think it's Scotch Irish. And then they couldn't finish it. So then I have a hollow tooth that breaks off. And that happened repeatedly. And I'm watching my younger girlfriend go through it. Her husband worked at a reputable business for a lot of years, and they give what they give, and they had 4 kids, and they could not, once they took care of their kids, fix her teeth. So she's going to look like me someday. And I just want people to know it's not all like that. And if it is, it might have been 10 years ago, and they're fine now, So that's about it. Because, stereotypes are kind of hard to get around. And I learned not to do that, because I was been shocked. In the mental hospital, I've been shocked by what people have to offer. They do. They said that we're out. And they haven't told us, because I was understanding, because we're medical, we're getting on SSI, we have medical issues, everybody on here. It's not just like the COVID help where they brought regular people in. And I was under the understanding that we were going to be housed until we got the doctor. Because when I got put in, it's me and my 12-year-old son, it's not just me. And I was pretty much told, okay, here you can stay here and not have to worry until you get your voucher, until you get things rolling. And I just came out of like a 23-year marriage that was abusive, like financially, emotionally, rarely physical, but sometimes. And me and my kids, I have 2 older kids, were really pretty much scarred and just kind of like deer in the headlights. And we came in here, and it's been really hard. No fault of seasons, we getting counseling. It's like everybody went to counseling in COVID. That's when everything happened. So I am now starting to get that. So, but basically, yes. And they just kind of put you in like a little. This is the program. Here's your steps. Sign this. Sign this. Sign this. And then here you go. So I was here. So I really didn't have many questions. I just kind of kept to myself. I was a little unnerved. I didn't know anybody. Basically, we'd have meetings, but I was always gone because my son goes to school in Monterey. He's been there since kindergarten, so I want to keep him stable. And this is now in 7th grade, going. So I drive him every day and pick him up. And on Wednesdays when they had the meetings, was his day, short day. So I never got the meetings. And I really pretty much did not, other than a quick, how are you doing? Maybe every blue moon, I really didn't talk to them or do anything with them. Or really, I did not, and this is my fault, I did not sit down and read all the program stuff. Because I also am new to welfare and have tons of papers. There's just so much to read and sign and do that I didn't look at, I just said, okay, I'm here till I get a voucher. Okay, I'm going to get the voucher. I was not thinking about the fact that my husband's credit, if you go on that, I mean, because he ruled the bank, it's horrible. I was so afraid that was going to be on there, but I did get the credit checks and found out nothing's on there. So I have like a square zero. I never had my own credit. When I came out of my grandfather's house, who raised me, he told me, don't get a credit card, and that was how you did back then. Well, being married all the years and not in control of the money, I really didn't realize that now everything, my kids are telling me, Mom, you have to do this and this and build your credit. But I didn't realize that was part of the program. Here was supposed to be during the time that you were here waiting for the voucher, they were supposed to build credit and help you with things on your application and different things. Like I know how to fill out an application, but obviously I've been to hell and back. Everything's not going to be perfectly matched, like that or whatever. And so I had later on, when I was looking through the program, a little, later on, towards the end, when we were getting the vouchers, because I started thinking about really getting the voucher, and I think I might have PTSD like I used to. So when I was thinking, oh, the vouchers are coming soon, I thought, okay, I'm going to have to go to people and ask them for a place to live. And if so I didn't know at that time, if his credit's on there, they're going to say, wouldn't you're responsible? I wouldn't do it. And I was like, that's really frightening, and I don't want that on paper. I just look horrible. When before I got married, I had people saying, thank you, the house looks better than when you left. So I'm like, what do I do? That looks like, I did all this stuff and I had no control over it. But come to find out it's not there, it's just blank. So now I look like I didn't exist I'm 57, I have no credit. So I have a friend also that is looking for a house in the same situation. She just did not do the credit thing. And she keeps getting denied because of no credit. And I see the application that says, don't even bother applying unless you have a 700 score. And I'm like, well, I have 0. But I do apply, and I really don't make a lot of excuses for it, because I feel like they're going to hear a lot. Everybody's heard so many excuses, and everybody uses them now. It's not like back in the day when it was authentic. So I'm not going to write a letter, about how this and that and how I came to be here. Because I just feel like that would be a bit much for them. That's not their job. But I try to be as confident, and I go to the showings and I meet people because I've got some pretty good energy. But I think when they see, no credit or anything, they're like, oh, that's a risk there. And even with the voucher, I had also thought that with the voucher, like they wouldn't be like, oh, you need to have everything. Like they would understand that when you get the voucher, you're really desperate, and that you're not going to have this and that and things in place, but that's why you have the voucher. So it's paid. I understood my job was to pay what I needed to match with the voucher and my common bills, and keep the place clean and tidy and well done, so that could be a good example for Section 8, because I've looked it up, and it's like, not everyone thinks it's a great thing, for many reasons. But I was very disappointed, and really, I was scared. I really felt frozen, to fill out an application, because I'm like, I really feel bad giving this paper that's either blank or, really bad, and, I might be a blank, but I'm not really bad. I paid my bills. I never, I had a bank account, and I just paid them as I went. I didn't make much, and I didn't know much. So, but yeah, so I was very disappointed to find out that there wasn't going to be anything like that. And I'm like, yeah, that would have started, if they would have started a year ago, then that could have been good. At least, people have told me lots of ways to do it, which I'm in the process of doing, building it up, but I don't have it now. Yeah, that, and there was also apparently a lot of different perks that were supposed to come with the program that I kind of heard about, like maybe a tablet for me and my son, or I'm not sure of what all, but due to some in-house kind of, manipulation, a lot of the money that was for the program is missing, and I kind of feel like some people got, have been here almost 2 years and have had their vouchers and able to, go out and leisurely, while I'm being diagnosed with some new disease that's taking my feet and coming on up my legs. I have to constantly be at the doctor. I'm almost done with my divorce, but I don't have money for an attorney, and I wasn't able to find one, so I'm going on, I had to trial. I don't, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing so I can counteract against this man. And at the same time, my voucher comes, so I told both of them, I really appreciate, well, not the divorce thing, but I really appreciate the voucher, I do. But it's like, I feel like I'm torn in so many directions, and that I'm not going to be able to do anything well, because I still have a 12-year-old, and it's like very bad traffic there, very bad traffic there by the time I get home, and I'm just running all over. I'm also spending a lot of money I try to do as many as I can when I go pick them up or when I drop them off, to go see the houses and stuff, to be able to put down an application, but it doesn't always work out. Sometimes there are different times, or, and so I've been spending a lot of gas, and I ask, is there any kind of reimbursement for that? Because I'm finding it tough to eat at the end of the month, that because I'm spending, because foods went up, that it goes over my food stamp, so, and there's no reimbursement or there was a bus pass, but I don't know how to use the bus system, and I'm like one of those, I Love Lucy things that if it can happen, it can happen to me, and I'm really scared to get on because I don't know, I don't really know how to use it. It's embarrassing, but I haven't used the bus system, and I don't know what goes where, and a lot of people say, well, yeah, and a lot of them don't go by there, or they're late, or and I'm like, well, I don't know if I can handle that in the walking and whatever with my legs. So I just said, well, thank you, but no thank you. Yeah, so those were a few of the disappointing things. I did like the people that ran the program. They were kind and seeming nice when I dealt with them. But there wasn't a lot they could really do. I also kind of felt, because I used to work in mental health in Sacramento, and I felt that perhaps because the situations here, especially in the beginning, that maybe they could have had at least a counselor, maybe 24 hours, if not 24 hours, just to de-escalate, because nobody was trained in de-escalating. So people would go, da, 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 and then it would be like, well, we're trying our best, and there's just nobody in buffer in between. And the girls, it's not, they'd have to be trained in a whole lot of things to do all that. So I thought that might have really helped. It's a little better now with this group, but I don't know the new ones coming in. But the ones left were pretty much, got it together. I did meet a lot of people that, I told my son, call me crazy, but there's more camaraderie here than if you live in like a normal neighborhood. Really helping each other out. Like I kind of adopted a family, so CPS came, it's like, here, can you take them? It's like, yeah. And so I adopted, kind of have them and their mom, and so I have a daughter now, and it's really cool, it's cool. And I didn't see that in normal communities. Like they would stand on the porch and collect their tongues. And, so I do appreciate that. And, the program brought that to me by bringing me here. So I do appreciate all the patrons and the people and the staff, that have been good. At times I don't kind of like the system they ran to where we kind of got, the second best, but hey, it's better than nothing at this point, and I'm not going to, say anything to them because they don't make the rules. They do what they can and give you what they can. Just like I told them, I said, I am really like frozen, like I can't write it because I'm like, I don't want these people to think bad about me. They're going to look and say, just, was not going to look good or non-existent. Like, what has she been doing? Sleeping for 50? And they're like, oh, well, we're going to write a cover letter. And I'm like, the thing is I was talking to my friend, the one that I've adopted now, and she's successfully got her place today. And I told her, I said, well, how did you? And she said, I said, what did you say? Like, did you explain your situation? I mean, because you don't want to really stand there sobbing, right, like that. Or you don't want to be dishonest either, Right. But she said, well, actually, I'm not sure if, it seems like we're not supposed to say we were homeless, or that would not be a good idea.
It's irrelevant.
And I'm like, I don't know why that,
but
like we weren't really instructed like how to become this Apple Card. I got this thing on my phone. Oh, here's this with your Apple Card, and you can. And so I did, and it's like declined. I'm like, okay, but I'm still trying. And I've heard there's other ways like little pen, and also on my providers or my EBT, there's a provider thing that they're not EBT, but they kind of show it and stuff. They've got a lot of different perks, and they've got some in there where you don't have to have that, and then you can get that done and then step up to something more. You know, since you've never owned it, which sounds good. I was very, very conscientious because I was a CNA. I worked in mental health. I worked in a 130-bed block facility in Oak Park, Sacramento. I had to be on my toes. And my memory was like, you know, laser almost, you know. And now I'm just, because well, at first I thought, oh, do I have Alzheimer's like my mom? You know, geez, because I can't remember a thing, and I'm foggy, and and then I read some things about it, and I said, oh, I think you need therapy. That might have happened. You know, it kind of just blows your brain, having a lot of just things that you wouldn't imagine happening behind you, you know, like that. So that's kind of good to know. I'd rather have that than Alzheimer's. At least I can work on it. And I tried to work on it myself, but and then like I don't know really what they did. I did catch maybe just a couple of groups, but like I think really more mental health issues. Some people were here just for mental health. That would have been extremely helpful for them, I think. And myself, not darn, I fit in, you know, because that is a mental health issue that I've developed because of, you know, that. I mean, you know, and now I'm like, you know, I wasn't that way, and that is mental health, regardless of. Cut it up, and I'm not really embarrassed about it, but you know, I just want to, because you know, but I think there could have been more things in place, especially to kind of guide and help, and maybe a little less, because we're adults, like, you know, we're adults. As long as we act like adults, I don't know why. Like I said, I thought me and my son were going to be housed until we did find housing. That was, I'm not sure that was expressly said, but it was certainly implied. And then it's like, well, now you guys have to leave on this date, and there's no telling us, oh, well, we're going to go here, or we're going to do this, or anything. It's like, okay, so when I'm in my car now looking for a home, that's going to go over really well.
Did your case manager, who do you have for your case manager?
I think it's Marina, but I never really, up until recently, have been working with her, you know, because I've been turning in the applications, and I have to go and ask her. And that's another thing. Like when I go to a showing with everybody, and everybody gets an application, they're going home that night, they're really out. I cannot do that, because I have to wait for my caseworker to turn to the people who run the money and express, this is what we need. They have to look over it to make sure I didn't make a mistake, and they're not some, you know, a crazy lunatic just running nothing. And then after that, which could take anywhere from a week or two, they will then let me fill out the application or pay for me. So I'm like, by that time, the people I was there with are eating popcorn in the living room, and I'm turning in a nap and paying to do it. I mean, I paid them on my own a couple times, because I'm just like, but then I'm getting broke at the end of the month with the gas and this, but I'm smart enough to know, geez, if I don't get in there, even if they like you, you know, or even if they wanted to give you a chance, it kind of would seem to me like if I was renting, I'd say, wow, if it takes them that long to pay for an application, how long might it take to pay me? You know, that's just kind of a common thing, or something, you know, of that nature. So I think it could have been like each person has this much, and, you know, they just check, make sure it's legit, you know, if needed. Because not everybody needs, like I'm 57, I don't need to learn how to fill it out, I know that. You know, but yeah, so now I'm you know, very nervous as to, I'm trying really hard, but I don't know how well it's going to go over, because I'm looking in Monterey to keep my kid in the school district. I would prefer Seaside, but the Seaside payment levels were a little low, and Seaside's gotten real high. Almost better off, or more availabilities is in Monterey and in Carmel, the little right outside of the. And so I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't really feel that I fit in there. It's very quiet. Very quiet. We're loud. We live loud. You know, I mean, not extremely loud, but yeah, I mean, you know, I don't hear a pin. You can hear a pin drop there, right in the middle of the day. I don't even hear a baby crying. I'm like, where do these people live or go? What do they do? Like, it's just so quiet. And I would just, you know, hate to, I don't know. I would rather go to Seaside. I raised my first two boys there. Yeah. And that worked out pretty nice because I'm from Vallejo, so I'm used to little. I don't want to go to Salinas though. That's one thing I'm afraid of. My child has been in the Monterey School District. He is very, very soft and kind. They have had no fighting in schools ever, not once, not a fight. They don't say naughty things, they're not allowed. And the principal there at not Marshall, that was my first day at school, at Monte Vista really kept that, he was everywhere. He didn't miss anything, he was wonderful. And it really gave them a good kind of base to be a good person and not go fighting and whatever, whereas my other two, they're in the military school, they had a few fights, And I'm kind of a little worried about him going in there. And also, my older son got teased a bitch, because he had a Mexican last name, and he's mixed, but he doesn't know Spanish. And they're not Mexican, and I'd hate for it to happen to this one because he looks just like it. So I'm kind of like, I'm in fear, like, if they do say yes, we'll house you, it's going to be in Salinas, because the people who the program before they got done and they left, they were shipped off to Salinas, and from what nobody really liked it. It wasn't that great of a thing that they were feeling happy or comfortable there. Yeah. And there was like almost immediately a fire in the wall that they blamed on a resident that was here, but didn't really find out was in the wall. So they can't do anything. So that would be really, really expensive if I were to end up in a place like that. So that I'm a little frightened. And what would I do with my kid? Like right now, I'm attempting. That's another thing. There's a McKinley program that I'm attempting to get my son to see his homeless. And they would give him a ride to school with that. That would help me greatly if we could take that. That's at least 2, 3, sometimes more, $100 in gas. And I really don't have that, but I really have to put it in. But I can't keep my car in good shape, so it eats it up more, So it's just a catch-all, But yeah, and it would have been nice if they would have those programs, like, okay, here you've got a child. Here you might be interested in this program, because I don't know if it does other stuff, but I'm like, please pay for the gas station, please, because the bus doesn't come out here, obviously. So there could have been a lot more bases covered. I definitely think that would come from higher ups, giving that this is the management, this is what we're going to do. I don't really. About the girls, I really don't think they were given much other than be like teenage babysitters kind of like type of thing. They really didn't were able to do much other than tick the little boxes off, And so yeah, and I felt they could have been used in a lot more instrumental way that would train them and do a lot of good for them and a lot of good for the people. Like in SAC, they had that down. Kind of really had that down, because I work for group homes and lots of different things, and they seem to really keep it more, so you can take some notes from that. Yeah, I'm a little scared, I don't want to end up in the car, because they don't allow your kids in the car, and I don't have problems, never have problems. As a matter of fact, I took 2 kids here, and for a month, until they went to court, and then the CBS in court said, she's unhoused. No, we can't, if it's parents, it's okay, but it's not okay. So unfortunately they went, but they did get back, and I'm still part of the family. And they were kind enough to keep me in the loop. CPS did with kids. They didn't say okay, bye. They kind of allowed me to be that way, because I did get really touched on. 7 and 9. So I've had a lot of good, good contacts and good stuff, and a lot of, like, even the people here, like Nicole, they really got on programs and did things, that were instrumental in helping or trying to help anyways, and I do appreciate that. But I do feel the staff could have been utilized a lot better. Not that they were just not good, because like I said, I had no problems with them. They're kind and nice and helpful with what they could do, but they couldn't do much. They weren't allowed to do much, and that's not in the way that would needed. Like I said, there would need to be like teaching people how to repair their credit, because I don't know how to do, or build it. I don't know how to do either, And yeah, so those would be necessary, because I see a lot of my friends that are in the same boat, A lot of them don't just have credit, you know, or they've had some trouble here or there. But the applications for the housing, even the ones that are like low-income housing, are very like, they're very stringent. And you know, I haven't filled out an application for many years, but I'm like, this is an application, this is an interrogation. They absolutely want to know. I'm like, I don't like that. I'm kind of like a hippie kind of person. So I'm not used, I'm like, God, they need to know that. Wow, whatever, you know, but it's just kind of awkward. So there's just so many, and I just didn't quite feel like we would hit the marks on those. And that if it was set that high, you know, that we would be knowing that and know how to deal with that. So I could go out and be confident, look at somebody, shake their hand and say, yes, I've been through it a lot, and this is this, but this is what I've done and been able to accomplish, you know. And that's up to them to give it a chance. And that's really all you can do. But I feel a lot more confident if it was fixed. And I could sail in and say, here's this and here's that, you know. Yeah, that would have been, that would have really helped people get homes. And like I say, not having to wait so long to get the applications done. You know, like I'm sure there might be a target group that you might need to aid along in that. Also, like rides, there were rides. My one girlfriend here was getting the rides, and then I think they stopped that. You know, because I'm like to the point where I'm like, well, if I get a ride, then I'll do that rather than, you know, have to go back out there. But like I said, so many things got stopped, and I kept being told by the original crew that left a while ago, no, you're supposed to get this, you're supposed to get that, and you know, whatever. It didn't happen, and it seems like you're kind of getting like I'm not trying to be high and mighty or anything. I'm just trying to keep my kid in the same school system. That's basically it. Because I mean, he's in 7th grade. He's had the Princess kindergarten. I think that would be the last straw. He's like, you know, and I don't want to do that. So I'm trying really hard. You know, like I said, even Seaside, but I seem to just be getting, you know, a little priced out in Seaside. But I don't know if people in Monterey are going to be willing to accept that type of stuff, because it seems like when they do make suggestions, they're more so in Salinas, in more of the areas that, like, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I don't feel more comfortable with that, and I don't think my son wouldn't make it, you know, a day. He'd be home crying or something. So that's kind of frightening. But I don't even know if we're going to be offered that, because as of now, it's the 7th, my favorite number, and we haven't been told anything other than we're vacating this hotel on the 30th. And that's it. Like, where to go, anything. So I guess this is the end of the program, and we caught the tail end of it, and I was lucky to be housed for a little over a year. The other thing I wondered about too, I did wonder about when I came in, they did the little and they sent me my way. Then I came in May, okay? Then in October of the same year, I was brought in for a more in-depth, and it said on my paperwork, I looked and it said, you know, it started in May. It started October. I'm like, no, it didn't start in October. I started in May, but I don't know, you know, what difference it makes. But that was, you know, because I'm a stickler for charting and, you know, the medical charts. I'm like, that's, why is that? You know, but I never, of course, thought to ask them, you know, why is it that there would be that lag, but I don't know. You know, since we're in the program, like I put my caseworker down because she's been living, well, she doesn't live here, but she was here 8 hours a day for most of the time, and here living around me, saw how I live my life, how I clean my house, you know, so she could say, you know, I know this person is a decent person, you know, and they live like this. And so that was good, but, you know, like, there's going to be gaps and stuff, and how do you deal with that? And maybe if they query the public that's renting, like what, as a renter, do you like to see? Because understandably, these people aren't going to have everything maybe perfect, but what can we do to better, you know, ask, because I don't know what they would want, you know. I would just imagine what I'd want, somebody to care for my home and keep it nice.
So you have a son, do you have any pets?
Yes, I have, but they're ESAs. They're my two, yeah, I have a little dog, and I have an 11-year-old dog, and, you know, we got her a little replacement there for, you know, I don't expect her to live forever. I wish she could. But I do have pets, and that's another thing. Most of the people that were, like, I was fortunate enough to not have to be on the street. Just right in the nick of time, I swooped in here. But a lot of people that do, you know, you need protection and you need like family and stuff. So, yeah, there's going to be pets, and they're not so much, I think, pets for us as they are more like the emotional support animals because.
Children?
Yeah, I haven't got anybody. Yeah, my one friend, those are her children. And so it's hard because I know that I might run into some problems. I'm trying to do my best. My dogs won't have any problems like that, you know. One's a little tiny, the other one's, you know, but she doesn't do anything. She's Lynn's son. But, you know, there still can be people. I do see a lot of no pets, but I do see the ESA, and they're helping with that. I got on the boat late. They said they offered it to me. They probably did. I tasted it. You know, but I'm doing it now, and they are paying for that, so that's helpful. That's something that's helpful to me. But maybe an open office where people could come in, like maybe have a little room for like not the nurse, but like just a counselor to listen and de-escalate people, which we obviously, but we learned who was going to go nuts, and we would go and do it ourselves because, you know, you don't want to see your friend go to jail or be kicked out of the program because they lost their nuts over something, and they also we don't want them in the community doing this either because that, you know, is frightening to people, you know. So there's that, and then once again the camaraderie, you know. But yeah, it would have been nice to have somewhere where they could go in and feel heard and listened to. I think that's mostly what people really want, is just to be heard and listened to, and we're here. Like, yes, we hear you. Like, sometimes there's nothing that can be done, but we hear you, and we can work together, you know, like that. And I think that would have gone a really long way, and I don't think it would have been too expensive, you know, just maybe one person could stand 8 hours or something, you know, or even something overnight, because a lot of things, you know, escalated in the evening times. And, you know, even though we were supposed to be locking our rooms, you know, I myself ventured out a few times. At first I didn't, because I was scared to get kicked out. But then I'm like, more things happen at night than at daytime. So I, you know, would venture out. But even if it's just like mine, CPTSD, all the way to, like I said, some people are here in this program, and this program, I believe, is all mental health. So there's going to be some kerfuffles. And that's just how it is. Mental health is, you know, you don't deal with things in life appropriately or well. And hey, I just told my son and everybody, I mean, look, it's not black or white, it's not rich or poor, it's not male or female. We need to really quit fighting. It's basically like the Bible. They say wheat and tares, I say there's goodies and baddies, and there just is two types of people, and you just have to learn to navigate them and deal with them, because they're going to be put in your path. But choose the goodies to have as your friends. And that's really all you can do, you know. Just get through it.